What's going to be Binance burn day, Terra Luna Classic? Let's talk about it. What has it done to the price? And ultimately, why are some people really not happy right now? I'm going to break this down in this video. But before that, please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And also leave a like on this video to make sure that more people see what's going on with Terra Luna Classic. And with that being said, let us jump into it. So current price 2644. Now, probably our lowest movement in terms of price ahead of that. Sorry, on the news of the Binance burn. We did get $280.5 million in terms of volume, 17%. Now, again, people talking about why we didn't see a bigger burn, why equally we didn't see a bigger move in the price. I'm going to try and break that down a little bit in this video just for you guys. But $1.6 billion is our current market cap. And like I said, 2.27% up on the day. Now, we can see BTC dominance, though. People still buying Bitcoin. A lot of people believe we are at the bottom end of the market. And we can take a look over here on the charts. Now, we are seeing Bitcoin rally a little bit, but it is, however, been on a pretty sharp decline. We are only 5 green candles on the daily chart in about the last 2 weeks. So it is a tough market out there right now. But when we see, things like Bitcoin, Ethereum moving, we generally see things like Luna Classic, XRP struggle a little bit. And we are seeing that right now. Luna Classic has had 5 solid days of red candles. However, today's does feel like a slight change in momentum. Now, we did see that burn coming through from Binance. We can see it here. Came in at 2.5 billion Luna Classic sent to the burn wallet. We also saw 56 million burn from all nodes, which is good to see one of those bigger validators sending some of their rewards over to the burn address. Now, a lot of people are talking about the past 0.2% on-chain tax that we are going to potentially see. There are equally a lot of infighting going on with things like the Neblio partnership and etc, etc. And I wanted to just cover off a little bit, I guess, on my thoughts and my views around it. Now, again, the Binance burn at 2.5 billion tokens does take us significantly over $2 million sent by Binance, which is, for me, a great thing to be aware of. And ultimately, we are still getting these burns. People are still trading volume, and our overall market conditions are very, very challenging right now. We know that volume is down. We know people are moving out of risk assets. That doesn't mean, however, when the markets change, that we will start to see a significant move from Luna Classic. And I wanted to context it by saying we have the Terra Rebels doing it, and a lot of people are coming out and really questioning what they're doing. But ultimately, this was a self-organized community that took on this project. Should at some point these guys be being paid for what they're doing? Well, the honest answer is yes, because if they don't, then what else do we have? Now, that doesn't mean that we should be absolutely governed and blackmailed into do anything, but the point here is that we have got this far. Think about this. This was a blockchain that was done. This was something that people weren't interested in, and actually the organization of the community and the Terra Rebels getting involved and doing what they're doing have built us to where we are. Now, there is a long path ahead of us to get back to those higher points where I truly believe we will get to. But at the same time, we've got to be mindful that if people are putting in work, now I'm not a blockchain expert, I don't know how to code, I don't know what it takes, but I know when speaking to some of the people in the team and speaking to some of the people that develop blockchains and develop projects, this isn't just something you can do on the side. It takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of dedication. I think importantly, a lot of people right now want to see this moon and this price absolutely just skyrocket in a short period of time. The honest answer is we saw that up until the 6th. We saw that the whole market was moving. We saw Terra Luna Classic all the way up to the 6s, but it was built on significant amounts of hype. That doesn't mean that we can't get there in the future, and it doesn't mean that we won't get there in the future, but what we need to do is build fundamentals. We need to build decentralized applications, but ultimately we need to make sure that our blockchain is working and people are in this for the long haul. What we are seeing right now is people selling, not getting what they want. People wanted 10% pumps on the back of the Binance burns, and again, people talk about Binance not burning enough. Well, the reality is they're still burnt over $2 million. There's probably not anyone else out there that can commit to the fact that they've sent $2 million, and yes, Binance will have got some of those fees and we could do with a bit more transparency around it, but for me, it sets a standard in terms of what we're going to get. We are evolving and we are adapting in terms of what's coming for the burns. We're going to implement this 0.2% 0.2% burn and see what this looks like. And if it doesn't increase the volume and increase the burns, then we can go back and have a look at it in a different manner. But the point here is that we are a community governed organization, that we are trying to see what works best for Luna Classic, and we are always going to have these rallies, we are always going to have these dips. Right now, like I said, we are in a very tough market. We know we are. Bitcoin has been around this 20k mark now for a substantial period of time, and we just have to be patient with this. If you are staking, which I would always recommend, you are gaining those rewards. Now remember, we have the validator nodes coming on. We can check it over here on the Lunac Penguins. We've got 9 days and 9 hours until we see community validators, and I for one think we will see a significant step on in burns, as a lot of the community validators are stating that they are going to take some of their earnings and their rewards and send them to the burn wallet, exactly like we've just seen with all nodes. But you imagine a lot more validators doing that. There's Classic Crypto, there's a few others that are going to be doing this, that is ultimately going to support the burn. So for me, the next big thing, and I've talked about this in a few videos, is the 26th of October when we get these community validators going on. It's going to be really interesting to see, and I do think we will see some price movement on the back of it. Added to that, the Binance burn, we could even get something out of KuCoin. As we know, they then proposed and they voted yes to the 0.2% burn with their validator. So for me, we are still trending sideways. We're in this 2.6 to 2.8 range. We've got a lot of things coming up. We need to be clear in terms of what we want to do. I do think the Terra Rebels should be funded in some way, and I do agree with the community that we want to see some complete transparency in terms of what's going on. But again, this is a blockchain, it's a business, and we need to run it like that. So I'm pretty excited. Like I said, over $2 million from Binance is a significant number. Like I said, we are over a tremendous amount burns, 22.1 billion Luna Classic burnt from a blockchain that didn't have this input. And equally, we've got USTC and USTN repegs coming very, very soon. So all in all, I'm pretty excited about Luna Classic still. And if you still are excited about Luna Classic, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, hit that like button. Let's get it out there. Let's showcase to the world Luna Classic is here to stay. And I'm going to catch you guys in the next video.